Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a new Idle Huntress video. Today's video is going to be a Mobius showcase. She just came out. She is the newest Season 2 Huntress, and is kind of out of order in terms of who should have come next. Beethoven should have been here a long time ago. However, her kit does rely on like UR stuff, so I can see why it's just not showing up yet. But we've got Mobius here, and we're going to do a roll. I'm going to pick up one copy of her. And moving on, because I can tell you already, she is not worth the money. So save your money. If you want one copy to collect, go for it. But besides that, we'll get into her details. But real quick, I want to cover the responses they did on Twitter. The first one, bring back the vertical view. Some people like to stare at the different angle, I guess. I never really saw it, but hey, cool. I guess they're bringing it back. The skip feature for Lost Garden. Fantastic. Terrible, like thing in the game. It's very boring, very repetitive. Once you hit a level 200 Huntress, you can clear the game. Clear the mini game, right? However, it is very good for these videos because I can show off these Huntresses and they don't die immediately. But overall, it is a very annoying daily to have to do. For number 3, the old servers are dying. Players feel the game is uncompetitive, and then they want to add a bunch of cross-play extra mini games or cross-server mini games that they're already doing, and that only a handful of servers actually win every time because obviously it's pay to win. However, if they really wanted to fix this solution, and I hope you guys are listening, you merge the servers. This is a common practice for many games that have different servers, but the biggest cause of death for servers is obviously people quit. People quit a game, and they're allowed to do that. But when you've restricted these servers and that only new players join the new servers, then obviously the old servers just die out because no new players are joining them. So if you want to increase activity in these servers, you start merging servers, or maybe you stop opening new servers, and then you put new players into these old servers. It's kind of it's a give and take because obviously some people are going to be ahead, some people are going to be behind. However, at least the server doesn't die, right? That's just my take on that one. Number 4, add class filter. This is kind of benign. Cool, I guess you can filter that, but for the people who aren't familiar with what Huntress does what, and so yeah, okay, cool. You know, that doesn't hurt anybody, but I do feel like there could have been a better question that they answered instead of that, right? But yeah, moving on. All right, so to preface this, I pre-recorded the skill readouts based on the wiki translations, so there's going to be some errors and names and different like readouts, so bear with me. I wanted to get ahead of the curve just so I could get this video out to you guys in a timely manner while starting back with school, right? So bear with me and we'll get right to it. Her first skill, Gravity Grasp. At level 1, Mobius manipulates gravity to deal damage equal to 300% of attack to a single enemy, with a 50% chance to inflict sand cage, and enemies who are in the same position as you and who are not in a sand cage are preferably selected as the targets. At level 2, the magic damage is now up to 550%, and the sand cage chance is up to 60%. Level 3, 800% attack power, and as we can see, the theme of her kit is going to heavily revolve around sand cages and then dealing massive amounts of damage to enemies in these sand cages. But if they aren't and you're not lucky and they aren't in the sand cages, you're going to have a really tough time. Her second skill, Earth Star. Realm expands the planets on the ground. That might be a really bad translation. And at the start of each turn, deals magic damage equal to 320% of attack to enemies in the sand cage. And also gives enemies that are not in sand cage a 10% chance to then be in a sand cage. At the start of each turn, as long as this realm exists, this realm effect will activate once. This realm lasts for 3 turns, and if you become incapacitated during this period, the realm will then be cancelled at that point. Now at level 2, the magic damage is up to 480%, and the sand cage chance is up to 15%. Level 3, the damage is now up to 640%, and the sand cage chance is up to 20%. So Morbius is the first of the Season 2 girls to get a realm, which is really good, and is going to provide a lot of good might checks to fight against maybe a Honda or maybe a Catherine. However, it is still going to activate on turn 2, which is very counterable against a Dodgy, right? That Dodgy can then charm Mobius because Mobius actually has the fastest speed stat in the game. However, enemies aren't going to be really stacking her stat, so that might not be an issue. However, it is the ability for Mobius to get targeted by you, yourself, or the enemy against your own. So keep that in mind because it could be easily cancelable and then you're out of luck. Now for her passive skill, Star Frost Power. Now this one has a bit of a wacky translation, so I'm going to try my best here. At level 1, at the end of each turn, if the team is in the ground star area deployed by an ally, the attack power of the allied Earth Huntress is increased by 5%. This effect can stack up to 20 times. In addition, there's a 10% chance to grant one cold resistance stack to all allied Earth Huntresses. Now, this is really good. You can have that 20% stack, and then you have 5%, so you have 100% attack if you're alive enough to stack that 20 times, right? And then you're also stacking that cold resist, so your Earth mono team is going to be really, really good against, say, a freeze team. Now at level 2, the attack power increases 10%. You're still getting 1 cold stack resist and with a 50% chance. At level 3, the attack power stacks are now 15, and we're only still getting 1 cold stack, and now it's at 20% chance. So at 4 stars, you're getting 15%, and then that's 20 times. So that is 300% right then and there. So that's a lot of extra stat buffs, but only to Earth Huntresses, as long as everybody's alive. Now for her stat passive, Trajectory Calculation. At level 1, Mobius has a rare talent in mathematics and can even calculate the movement data of her enemies. Increase own HP by 15% and accuracy by 3%. Now at level 2, HP by 20%, hit rate by 4%, and then at level 3, HP by 25% and accuracy by 5%. So we're getting a tankier Mobius, and then she's hitting more often, but the health is kind of weird. They're trying to make her kind of a more tanky side of things just to last longer, which she does need to do, but it's kind of weird. Her kit's all over the place. Now for her exclusive equipment, Space Distress. At level 1, accuracy increased by 3%. Level 2, final damage reduction increased by 4%. Level 3, increased toughness by 5%. Toughness is tenacity if during translations. And now at EE30, level 4, when an enemy fails to escape from the sand dungeon, it takes magic damage equal to 50% of Mobius' attack power. Furthermore, there is a 10% chance to give a sand cage to one enemy that is not in a sand cage. Now at EE40, the magic damage is up to 100%, and the sand cage chance is now at 20%. And then at level 50, the damage is up to 200% of attack, and then the sand cage chance is now up to 30%. So overall, this is going to deal a lot more damage to enemies that are in a sand cage and that are not in a sand cage. However, it is not required. It's kind of lackluster compared to other girls' exclusive equipments. So you can skip on this if you do decide to grab her, but we'll get into whether or not you should. Next, we have her Awaken skill, Time Distortion at level 1. When expanding the area, the remaining HP of allied Earth Huntresses is recorded. If an ally's HP is less than 50% of its recorded value, when clearing the area, it recovers up to 50% of its recorded value. Allied Huntresses who are incapacitated during this period cannot be revived, and all HP of allies revived during the period will not be recovered. So this is a very delayed and lackluster heal. It becomes way more broken at UR3, which is another big price point for people, but you can't even get it just yet. But this is a very, very lackluster Awaken skill. Last but not least, for her kit, we have badges and runes. For badges, we're going to go for an HP badge, a tenacity badge, and then possibly a speed badge. The tenacity, I don't really see the need for it. You can go for speed, but then you're opening yourself up to be countered by potential dodgies, so keep in mind. You could go attack if you really wanted to. Yeah, attack's probably better than the tenacity or agility. And now for runes, you're going to want to go to green and to yellow because we're going to get up that defense and that HP to just make her a bit tankier. She's not going to be your mainline tank, but we do want her alive to increase those sand cages for Cleo and Hercules to do more damage on top of Morbius' own damage. Now we're going to have just stack HP on that substat. Don't want to make her fast, just make her tanky. Now moving on to my thoughts and as well as what the community Discord thinks. Now for the pros, her first skill deals a lot of damage, and you can specifically target her mirrored counterpart. Now her sand cages are very helpful for Cleo and Hercules. Now they're all dealing damage because they all specialize in dealing damage to enemies in sand cages, so more of them is great because they are heavily RNG weighted, so to increase those chances is really good. She is the first Season 2 girl to get a realm, so this is going to help fight those might checks because the Season 2 girls just have way greater mights than the other girls. So that is something that you can use and incorporate and just exploit, right? However, this can be like managed, and we'll go in that in the cons. But she has a lot of buffs for Earth allies that is going to increase the attack and increase cold resist stacks. Her EE is not necessary, so you can just skip it. And then she is the fastest base unit in the game. That is then higher than Cleo. Now to the cons, the only optimal team she needs to be with is a mono Earth team. This is just going to add all those cages, but that means if you don't have a good Cleo and a good Hercules, don't even bother grabbing her. She is a very weak defensive unit, so that's why we have to put so much health on her, and then you can easily target enemy. Mobius is pretty well for dodging for the speed, or you name it, with other Mobiuses, right? Just to target that mirror opponent. The realm can be stopped, like I was saying before, if they get charmed or you kill her. So that's kind of, you know, a downside, a very heavy downside. And then once again, RNG flooded because of the cages. If you don't have Cleo and Hercules, once again, you're not really upping your chances across the board of sand caging the entire enemy team. And lastly, her awaken skill, it just sucks. Sorry, it's really bad. It's a cool heal, but your teams are dying in turn 3 anyway. When she does get her UR at UR 3, it does like allow people to get revived, and that's really cool, but we're not going to see that for quite a while. So all in all, if you plan to 6-star her, that's cool, but it's a hard pass. It's a hard pass even if you can't afford to 6-star her. If you haven't 6-starred Cleo and Hercules or Dodgy or Carmen, you name it, right? I've got a list of the priority for Season 2 girls if you want to check out on the Discord, but definitely she is near the bottom on priority, because you really need to get that Cleo and the Hercules up before you can even like really maximize your utility with Mobius. But yeah, I think that covers it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. Take care, everybody.